3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and let's talk about a comic. Batman Superman number 3. This is a bit of a controversial book, and I don't think it should be. I say it's controversial because it's got a lot of people looking to be outraged about it, at least from my perspective. I understand the criticism about the comic industry, and there's a lot of books that we should be criticizing. Marvel and DC do a ton of things that we should be upset about, but I think there's a tendency to take that too far. There's a tendency to become what I've call black-pilled. There are other YouTube creators like myself, hopefully not myself, that are contributing to this concept I call black-pilling, which is convincing people that there's nothing to like, that it's all just garbage, and that they constantly see the bad in everything that Marvel and DC put out. Because the industry is completely borked. There's no going back. There's no fixing it. It's absolutely not salvageable. And that's just not true. Now, I got back into comics in 2017. Well, I started buying comics in 2018. But I got back in the scene around 2017. I joined the Comicsgate movement because of people like Richard C. Meyer, who, unfortunately, is one of these big contributors to the blackpilling, although I don't think it's intentional. He got me back into comics because of his passion. It was because of his love for these books that were coming out at the time called Batman White Knight. He was doing these reviews of them, and he was talking about how great they were, and I could hear in the tone of his voice just the feeling like he genuinely was really loving these books, really excited about them. And what I respected about Richard, and what helped get me back into books, was that he didn't talk about comics like they were all just garbage. Like, he would roast the shit out of a lot of books, and there was a lot of books worthy of that, especially at Marvel. But I could tell that he wasn't there just to hate on things, because he would say great things about books like White Knight. He called Mr. Miracle the next Watchmen. Now, he retracted that later as the series went on. He's like, oops, that was a little bit premature. But my point is, he didn't want to hate on books. He wanted to see good in books, and he still does. I think it's swung a little bit the opposite direction now, and I think he's trying too hard to see good in books, where I've seen him give praise to like Zoe Quinn books, for God's sakes. But be that as it may, there are other YouTubers that were before Zach, the other people after Zach, not just YouTubers, people on social media. And I think over the past couple years, I find myself in 2019 looking around, and I'm like, I don't recognize this community, if you will, anymore. Like, it's full of so many people that just want to see, oh, these books all suck. And it's just what I call blackpilling. Yellow Flash is a perfect example of this. If anyone's listening to him, I'm sure if you're listening to my channel, you've heard Yellow Flash. Now, I got nothing against the guy. He obviously does content people want to hear. He's got way more, subscribers than I do. But as far as his content goes, I don't enjoy his content, and I think he is guilty of what I'm describing, the blackpilling. Everything he does videos on, it's just negative. Everything is bad all the time. No matter how good the book is, it's trash. When I watched his review for Last Night on Earth, he just trashed it. Silver Surfer Black. It's just like he doesn't like anything, it seems like. Doesn't want to like anything. And I don't know if he's just caught up in this mentality, where he's just so jaded and cynical now that he just is not possible for him to see the good, or if that's just part of his brand. I don't know, but I used to watch a lot of Yellow Flash in the early days, and now I don't watch anything. And I'm just using him as an example, not because I'm trying to single him out, but because he's very notable. And he's someone that at least you've probably seen. But anyways, to get back on track, I see on social media people dogging this book, and there's like, oh God, the Superman who laughs, and oh my God, they're ruining my character. It's just more DC, yada, yada, yada. And it's not true. It's just simply not true. Let's talk about this book. Hey, look, it's Black Canary. Being a hero isn't all about having superpowers. It's about having a voice, too. Actually, no, it's not. Being a hero has nothing to do with having a voice. Absolutely, 100%. This is. Here I am trying to talk about not blackplay. This is absolutely a perfect example of where it's wrong in the comic book industry today, and the ideology that is being pushed. Being a hero is about making sacrifices. It's about doing the right thing when everything tells you that you shouldn't. When it's the hardest thing in the world to do is the right thing, but you do it anyway. That's being a hero. People like who are in our military that put their lives on the line to fight for the American way of life. People who choose emergency services like firefighters who go into burning buildings to rescue people. When everything tells you, you shouldn't go in that burning building and you're going to die, but you do it anyway. Those are heroes. People having a voice. What is this? Like you're Ocasio-Cortez? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? Oh, she's a hero. She's got a voice. No, it's garbage. This is nonsense. And this is the stuff. Look at this. It's all peddling towards your kids. It's indoctrination bullshit. Okay, sorry. That's not what you came here for. I just couldn't help it. Couldn't help myself. Sorry. All right. Now, we see Batman. I like this little pose. Batman thinking. Ever since I put on the cowl, I have used fear as a tool. But to use your fears, I must know your secrets. So over the years, I've studied my friends, family, and allies to prepare for the worst case scenarios in the world. I've searched for weaknesses, for strengths, invaded privacy in the name of justice. I tell myself I must do these things because only I can be trusted with this knowledge. But when you boil it right down, what I do is a betrayal of trust. My actions have led me to this moment. Then we get this 2-page spread here. And now my friend has paid the price. A dark version of myself, the Batman who laughs, has used that betrayal of trust to infect heroes from our world, and we have no idea how far his infection has spread. I should have never killed you, Clark. Not because our friendship, no, but because you were the greatest tool I have ever had in my utility belt. So Clark poisoned himself with Joker toxin to go undercover. Must keep control. Now, so this is the part that's got a lot of people in an uproar. They see the Superman who laughs and are like, oh God. Because unlike the Batman who laughs, this is our Superman, right? This is Dark Multiverse Batman, but our Earth Zero Superman. And they feel like this is being ruined. But here's the deal. This is all part of a plan. This is Superman trying to go undercover to get to the Batman who laughs. And Batman knows he can't do it because the Batman, who laughs knows him inside and out. And I thought it was a cool idea. It's something we haven't seen. I try to embrace things we haven't seen. That doesn't mean anything you do is okay just because you haven't seen it. But when it is something you haven't seen, throw it against the wall, see if it sticks. I'm okay. The whole plan, as Bruce explains in the narration, is that their idea is that Superman's Kryptonian physiology should hold the toxin back long enough. Shouldn't be an issue. It's a risky plan, but they have to do it because this is such a dire villain. They have to take great risks because that's the situation is that dire. And I like that. Some people are like, I'm tired of the Batman who laughs. And that's a fine opinion. I'm not going to tell you what or what not to be sick of, but I will remind you that Metal was 18 months ago. And then Then we didn't have anything really until the Batman Who Laughs miniseries, which ended a few months ago. And that's really it. Like it seems like we got a lot of Batman Who Laughs stuff, but we really haven't. So personally, I'm okay with it because I don't think they've really worn out his welcome yet. They are in danger of doing that. But I'm okay to see what this story goes. And you know what? I'm a big proponent of continuity and continuation of events. I see fans arguing, and rightly so, I agree with this, that so many events happen and they don't matter. I hate that. DC is trying to say, look, remember that event we did 18 months ago called Metal that pretty much everyone kind of really liked? Guess what? It mattered. We're still telling stories from it. I embrace that. Now, does that mean automatically the stories are good? No, but it doesn't automatically mean they're bad. So, we get Batman Who Laughs. He's like, yeah, I'm free. And he's got Superman. And the whole time, Batman's observing as Clark's undercover. And Batman Who Laughs is giving his little plan. And Superman says, how about we go upstairs and kill everyone in the Hall of Justice? Batman's concerned. You're playing it the part too well, Clark. Too soon, Boy Scout. The heroes have too much of a larger role to play in my hands. What are your plans? Shazam didn't say. Oh, you want to know? It's so good that I'll tell you step by step. Try to keep that Smallville brain following along. And then he's like, my infected are going to kill every single living thing in the multiverse. Just like your mother died when Krypton exploded. Do you wonder what she was thinking in those final moments? That she wished it was her in that rocket instead of you. And so he's pushing Clark's buttons, and you can see, is he going to be able to hold it together? Because remember, he's undercover. He's not really turned. And he's like, and he smashes the wall, and Bruce has left his chair. Uh-oh. And then Clark goes after Batman. He laughs. That's it, Clark. Give in to your true self. And Batman comes up from behind. That's enough. And injects him with some sort of serum. Now, I'm kind of curious how this works. If Clark's Superman and how you pierce his skin. But it's comics, so I just, okay. Suspension of disbelief. we'll let it go. Batman says, Hall of Justice, activate restraints. And so he ties everyone up. He knows Superman. This is a cool scene. I love when Batman is portrayed in a silhouette like that. It always looks so cool. Batman is right. I knew Shazam failed at turning you the moment you burst in. And I never really did leave my cell, did I? Ah ha ha ha! I'll give you an A for effort, Bruce. I had his hologram trick on my world, too. It had the same problem. No matter how hard you try, the hard light holograms have a unique smell that you just can't shake. What are you doing? I had him. No, he had you. Superman breaks free. You didn't trust me. Ha ha ha! Really, you both put on a great performance of good cop, bad cop. I haven't seen a show like this since Mom and Dad took me to see Zorro. Oh, it's just dark. So remember, this whole point is that Batman has had Batman Who Laughs imprisoned into the Hall of Justice this whole time. The League hasn't known, and they have to figure out. Okay, we got to figure out what to do. So Batman puts Clark away in this cell for Yellow Sun. It's supposed to help recharge Superman, help the anti-serum work better. And then Superman's like, who did he infect? So meanwhile, we cut over and we see, as we already know from the Batman Who Laughs miniseries, this happened. We see Commissioner Gordon is driving down, and the Batman comes up behind. Well. Was I a speeding officer? This is a cool scene. Really cool, like, car chase scene. A lot of artists can't draw vehicles, especially in comics. And now, no one is Sean Gordon Murphy, but this artist does a pretty good job. These vehicles look really cool, and on this angle, the shot has a really good element of speed. I love the brake lights, Batman flying off the roof. There's a huge amount of, like, dynamicism, which is what you want in comics, because this is still page. There's no animation, so it's up to the artist to draw and give that illusion so your mind can feel that. And here again, you can see you feel the car speeding along. Batman's on the hood of it, facing down Commissioner Gordon, and he's just yelling at him, "Jim, you sent Superman and me into a trap, didn't you? There was no missing child kidnapped by a Superman who laughs. Whatever he's made you do, I can help you. You can trust me. Because you're my friend? All you've ever done is hurt me. Since the day you've got here, Gotham has fallen deeper into ruin. You're a failure to this city." And Batman's like, "What? My best friend just told me." That was a little overreaction, but we can see Commissioner Gordon's losing it. And he says, "You know how many people I've had to bury because of the hell you created in Gotham? How many good cops have died because of you? How many more Robins must die before you give up?" Now, this was a little bit weird to me. I was like, yeah, there's no dead Robins. So they're all alive. I guess some of them did die, but it's comics, are all back. So Bruce rips him from the van. "The Batman who laughs wants me to know you were infected. Why? So I can show you the truth, what we really are on the inside." And he hits a little beep. He hits a device on his wrist, and the bat armor shows up. Commissioner Gordon's bat armor. "You can fight this. Fight the infection, Jim." And why would I want to do that? Life is so much easier this way. So Batman gets in a fight with the armor, and it looks like he's down. And Superman shows up at the nick of time. And "Why did you leave the Hall of Justice? Until all traces of the Joker toxin are gone. You're unstable, damn it." The Batman who laughs said, "Shine their names in the sky." He was talking about Gordon. He wanted you to know he infected one of your closest friends. So much for the world's greatest detective. I couldn't let you face that alone. And I was like, was a cool moment. Because at first I was reading this like, what? Batman already had this figured out. He can handle Gordon. But Superman wasn't there because he couldn't handle, but because of the psychological side of dealing with that. Yeah. He wanted Batman to have a friend at his side when he's, trying to deal with a close friend betraying him. Thought that was a really cool scene. Again, these action shots are fantastic. This is something we don't see very often in a lot of the modern comics. And Superman takes care of the armor real quick, and Batman takes care of Gordon, and that's that. So they apprehend Gordon. They start talking about what they're going to do. And the big thing about this is that Batman is a control freak, right? He always does things his way. But that's sort of the problem. And Superman is like, he's kind of like, we'll play it your way. You're fine. You're the smart guy. And he tells Batman, "I can take it to the Batcave." And Batman realizes, no, we tried your plan with the Joker toxin and it got us Gordon. Maybe this is how we finally beat him. I need to stop thinking like me, or even thinking like him, and ask myself, what would Superman do? So they go to the Fortress of Solitude, and they got Gordon, and it's like, too late. And alert, occult xenotechnology detected. And we start seeing this alien thing appear, and in Helix's display screen or whatever, and it's the armor. It was a Trojan horse. I never wanted to be a hero. I said it over and over again, and no one would help me. But the Batman who laughs finally listened. And now I'm not a hero anymore. I'm something better. Surprise, bitches. Or whatever cuss word they want you to say, because modern comics always have to have cussing. It's your old pal, Jamie Reyes, the trusty Blue Beetle. It's my Tex. My Tex handed your fortress over to me. Cool, right? The Justice League's always underestimated me, treated me like I wasn't the real Blue Beetle, so you never understood the power of the Scarab. You just saw me as some kid, another lame sidekick in training. Now the training wheels are off. And we see Batman and Superman wrapped up. And meanwhile, at the Fortress of Solitude, we look at that face. A reckoning is coming. And then we see the symbol in the sky, and we get this narration from the Batman who laughs. And he says, "Isn't that right, Lex? That's what the display of power is all about, isn't it? This puts you and me on a collision course. But you know, Batman always wins." So this is an interesting direction too now, because it's not just about the heroes trying to stop Batman Who Laughs. This is a case where Batman Who Laughs is going to have to go against Lex. And Lex, as you may be aware, is the main catalyst behind the Year of the Villain going right now. He's not in league with Batman Who Laughs. These two are adversaries. And that's something else that hasn't done too often in comic books. Villains don't get along. In comic books, a lot of times it's like, oh, I'm on the villain side. You're a villain too? Hey, we're on the same team. That's always kind of annoyed me. No, real villains are bad people. And real bad people, they don't have allegiances or alliances. They don't care about other people. And so they don't get along. They're selfish. And this makes total sense. I'm very eager to see Batman Who Laughs versus Lex Luthor. I like this book. It is fun. It's great art. It's a different kind of story. And you know what's kind of important to me about this book is that it's not Superman. It's not a Superman book. It's not a Batman book. What I mean is the ongoing titles, Batman and Superman, this isn't happening in those books. And you may say, oh, Ash, without the continuity, I'm not saying that this isn't happening, right? Of course, Bendis and King, they don't really pay attention to continuity. They just kind of do their own thing. But what I mean is, if this particular storyline is not your cup of tea, but you buy Batman or you buy Superman, it's not being forced upon you. You have the ability to opt in and say, oh, I'm interested in this Batman Superman book and where that story is going. Or you might say, no, I'm not interested in a Batman Superman team up book. Even though I do like both those characters, I'll just keep buying their single books. So yeah, in my opinion, this is better than both Batman and Superman. I think most people will agree. Some people are tired of the Batman Who Laughs and the metal story things. I'm not. I'm cool with this. I enjoy it. I hope you are too. If you are, let me know. If you're not liking it, I don't know if you're going to be watching this video, but the final takeaway is read the books before you decide something's being ruined. Because when I started off about this book in the beginning, it was controversial. It was controversial because I see people spreading these rumors around like, oh, DC's ruined Superman now, which they have. I mean, Bendis is ruining Superman, but they're not referring to that. They're referring to this book. And I'm like, no. Superman is Superman in this book. You know, he gets a little bit infected because he's going to go undercover, but they fix that. He comes to his pal Batman's aid in his time of, emotional need. Batman would never ask for that help. He's very much Superman in this book. I like this book. I'm not going to say any more about it. You know my thoughts. You know why. If anything wasn't unclear, let me know in the comments. I'll try to answer. I appreciate you watching. Thanks for all the likes, subscriptions, the views. I appreciate every one of them. And thank you very much. I'll see you next time.